5 minutes.
Okay, and we...
I think I'm your last one too, so you can
No, I don't believe
Don't
that.
say
go
that.
out with a bang.
That.
You rolling?
Wherever you like.
Hello, one and all. How are you?
Very well.
Very good.
Fine.
Tell me about coming back to this familiar territory.
Coming back home.
Yeah, very familiar. Very, very familiar.
And very
that was lovely.
unfamiliar.
Mm.
In a way,
Mix
too.
of both, really.
What do we mean by that?
Well, everything was the
Familiar
same.
yet unfamiliar.
The same but different,
Yeah.
sort of.
Well, yeah, actually, that's exactly right. A lot of the same faces, same physical place,
Same feeling. I
same
think.
characters. Some different characters, but for us, we're playing the same characters, and a very similar atmosphere on set, but exploring new territory and doing it in a different way. And so it was very much a journey for us. I think.
Galadriel would never age, of course, but for you, what was it like playing a character 60 years younger than the one you left
60
behind?
years is nothing in a
When you're
3,500
3,500.
year lifespan. It's like a bad day.
Week, yeah.
We had lifts as well.
Yeah, very good. Well, he's got
Under our
everything
wigs.
going on.
Yeah.
I've been digitally de-aged, actually.
Right now.
Right now.
Very good indeed. Tell us the story from Frodo's point of view, because it's sort of Back to the Future for him, isn't it?
the move, the way we see him. It's a bit of a flash forward. Around the time, in the beginning of Fellowship of the Ring, actually, it's sort of almost moments before that. It's really a way to introduce the audience to the familiarity, I think, of Ian Holm as Bilbo, knowing that he's written the story about his adventure, and it serves to provide a conduit to him describing this adventure that he goes on.
Cate, you were apparently one of the first to sign on.
Was I? I did stalk him a little bit. I was a bit over keen.
The first one.
Well, I mean, I've long been a fan of Peter's, but from before the Rings movies, which is why I wanted to do the first. I mean, I was more a fan of his than of Tolkien's. I mean, even though Tolkien's a genius.
Me too.
It was
Although
to work
you
with
did
him.
want to put those pointy ears on.
Back on. But then, I mean, and Galadriel's not in the books, they're only glancingly mentioned. But I think he, as a storyteller, knows, and that's where it's really rewarding as an actor, that it's a few familiar faces that actually add to the heart of the story. And so Galadriel's very much part of, there's a lot of fear and courage and required to overcome your fears. And even Gandalf has moments of fear
And vulnerability.
And vulnerability.
Yeah,
and so
beautiful.
Galadriel's very much part of that story.
Well, Peter adores you too, of course, and I guess it doesn't hurt to have the odd Oscar winner in the cast there, does it? I mean, it's a great marriage.
I didn't bring it on set. I didn't wave it around. Can Galadriel hold an Oscar when I turn round as the Columbia? I just raised my Oscar. He didn't buy that. He didn't go with that.
Hugo, you were apparently the last to sign on. They were 6 weeks into principal.
The first and the last.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're all
I didn't know that.
hard
Is
to
that
get.
embarrassing?
No, your agent was obviously
Yeah, that's
holding
right.
out.
No,
adding,
I didn't have a
adding
script.
zeros by the day.
I didn't have a script, but then I realised no one else did. So.
What is it, one and all? What is it about this piece, this book that was written 75 years ago, that resonates with fans and makes it so appealing in today's environment?
I say all these they're not many human characters in Middle Earth. There are humans, but in the Hobbit there aren't, I don't think. And yet all these wonderful, very different, very varied characters have these human conflicts going on inside them. And Bilbo's a great case in point, where he's this hobbit who just wants to be safe and stay at home, and yet he's compelled to go on this journey which is putting his life in great danger. And so I think as readers and as watchers of these films, you're very taken by those very human things.
Final question for you, Cate. You've worked with the biggest and the best in the business. What is so special about Peter Jackson?
I think he's someone who's able to sort of surf technological change in the way that Spielberg does, but he's very, very invested in actors as storytellers, and you still feel like he's part of a cottage industry, an industry that he has watered and that's grown up around him, and he feels very responsible to that. But he doesn't feel he he's incredibly free. He's a free thinker. He's a free associator, and somehow, as a filmmaker, even though he's got this enormous trilogy on his shoulders, he's very, very nimble. He's nimble-minded. He's a very quick thinker, very organic,
Doesn't hold on to things either. Let them go if there's something better there.
and very, very hairy.
Absolutely.
That's it. Aren't we all? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Richard.
Cheers.